Hi again. The RV4 from Red5 Audio. It's a good mic, but I've got some good news and some bad news. So we'll start with the good news about the Red5 Audio RV4 microphone. It is a very good pencil microphone. It works well, it's low noise, and I do actually like the sound of it. It's not overly toppy and not too crisp at the top end, and it sounds quite natural. In my review, I was very pleased with it last time when I reviewed it, and it's a good cardioid microphone. Fairly good build, although some recent things have been pointed out to me which are quite revealing, and maybe I should discuss that later. But as far as the sound goes, I do like the sound and I have no problems with it whatsoever. The one thing that I did miss out though was the fact that it can be battery driven. Now the reason being is I always use this microphone driven with phantom power. So far I've only used it that way and completely forgotten that I put a battery inside it. So in fact there is a battery inside the RV4 which I missed in my review. Now that's very, very significant because that raises what you can do with it. So you basically unscrew the back and inside you have your AA battery, and that I overlooked that. I really had forgotten. Now the beauty of this is then that means not only can you drive it with phantom power 24 or 48 volts, but also you can drive it on the battery, which means you can put it straight into your camera with no phantom power. So today I'm going to show you how that sounds. So here comes the best bit. This is the bit where I show you what it sounds like while it's on battery power. So there's no phantom power going into this microphone at all, and it's going straight into my camera. Now, if you're listening for noises and hiss and things like that, then obviously it might be noisier because I'm using the camera preamp, which means it's possibly going to be a bit more noisy than it might be if it was on phantom power going through a nice preamp. But this is just to give you an idea of how this microphone could be used outdoors, no preamps, just plug it in and go. And where if you are outdoors, then the issue of noise wouldn't rear its ugly head so badly because your surrounding noise would probably drown out the noise of the microphone anyway. So this is the sound of it with the windshield on, and it's running directly on battery power. Now I'm just going to take this off for a short while because these microphones do tend to be very susceptible to plosives because of the nature of the microphone. The heads are normally right at the front there, and they're very susceptible to P's and B's. So I'm going to take this off just to show the sound without. This is the sound of the microphone without the windshield on, and I'm trying to talk above it so that I don't blow into the microphone, just to give an idea of how the microphone sounds. So this is totally on battery power, putting it back on, and now I've got the windshield back on again. And if I was outdoors, I would actually put something better than this on, to be honest, because this might stop plosives up to a point, but wind, I wouldn't risk that. So this is the sound of the microphone on the front. This is the sound of the microphone on the side. This is the sound of the microphone from the back to the side, and we're back to the front again. Now you can see that obviously this is the good bit. This microphone works on battery power. No preamp is necessary, just plug and play, off you go, straight into the camera. Now that's a good thing. Okay, now onto the slightly less positive things, and it's not to do with the sound of the microphone and the way it works, but actually to do with its build quality. While I know that this is only a £35, £34 microphone, there are things that you need to be aware of as well. And the first thing that was pointed out to me by my friend David Harry, actually, who we had a chat about this microphone because he got one as sent. And the first thing we noticed was the fact that there's a bit of oxidization here on both of our microphones, on the one that he eventually received and mine when I checked. Now I was totally unaware of that. I just put the battery in, screwed it up and forgot all about it, and David saw this and asked me whether mine was the same. So it does bring into question how are these things stored when there's oxidization on the metal there. The other thing he noticed was the fact that this back end, it's pretty solid, but when you put it inside the casing, there is a slight gap at the back where the pins are between the casing, the inner casing and the outer casing, so that what happens is that plug can actually move around in there, which he felt might in the long run could cause problems with the contacts. So there's just a couple of things about the build quality, but one issue that I had, which I really wasn't very happy about, was the fact that this one that I had here arrived in bubble wrap. And the way it was posted, it was wrapped in cardboard and then bubble wrap was put around it, and it arrived in no box, just bubble wrapped. And that did concern me at the time, and the first one I received wasn't working. Now, having said that, the customer service from Red5 Audio was absolutely superb. I sent them a sample of my microphone working, and they instantly sent me another one back. But again, it was wrapped in cardboard and more bubble wrap to protect it, because I think what might have happened is the postman actually dropped the first one. I don't know, or one of the deliverers had dropped it, causing it to make a lot of noise. And the second one was fine, and I thought, well, okay, fine, the microphone has arrived and it's working fine. Now, David ordered one himself and it didn't arrive. It actually didn't arrive. And eventually when it got to him, and he noticed, first of all, the build things, but the other thing he didn't like was the same issue, that the fact that these microphones, when you order them singly, they're actually sent out wrapped in cardboard and bubble wrapped, which isn't a great way to send out a microphone through the post. They're sensitive devices. They've only got to be thrown around by deliverers and postmen, and you've got a ruined microphone, and it's not good news. So what I would suggest to you, if you are interested in buying one of these, is to not buy one, but buy two of them. Because if you buy two, you actually receive them in a case. This one on its own will come bubble wrapped. Two will arrive in a case, and of course you can get the whole drum kit set where you get two of these anyway. But if you order two, you would then get them delivered in a case, and that way they're secure. So if you're after one of these microphones, it might be an idea to find a friend who wants one, and it's slightly cheaper because they're something like £34 when they're single, slightly cheaper when there's two, a couple of quid cheaper. You could split the microphone with a friend and fight over the case, but it is cheaper, and I think safer to order two of these and not one. The other thing is with Red5 Audio, both myself and Dave found that it's not great to phone the company. They tend not to answer the phone, but if you email, you'll always get a reply. So they're very good in that way, but telephoning doesn't work. You don't get an answer. But the thing is, make sure if you're interested in one of these to buy two, do a deal with a friend, and you'll be safer, because we're both not very happy really about receiving microphones wrapped in cardboard and bubble wrapped. Now you may think of that, if it's going abroad, there's going to be maybe potentially a lot of damage done, and then it gives you a lot of bother trying to return it. So bear that in mind if you do order one. Okay, if you like my videos, please subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you next video. Cheers for now.